Oh my God. I'm going to be as brief as I can, but so much has happened in so short amount of time uh, that I'd like to address first the elephant in the room, which was the power outage. And to say that JCP&L was late to the game is a serious understatement. They didn't get here, quite truthfully, till practical purposes late Wednesday, if at all. And even then, it was kind of weak. So in reality, I don't think they really did anything till Thursday. But when they did start, the people they sent were absolutely wonderful. There's no behind the scenes nonsense with this. That's just plain nonsense. I have mayor's conference calls with the executive on JCPL on a daily basis during the crisis or during the emergency. The public is not invited to that. I wouldn't care if it was or not, but I don't do the invitations. And so I spoke very forcefully, as I've been known to do from time to time with bureaucrats, including our own, about my disappointment. I begged them to come here and deactivate lines so our people could move the trees. And even at that, our OEM has the wand to detect active wires. And so the Forest Fire Service, our fire department, our DPW, and our OEM cleared most of the trees, not JCP&L, truth be known. They did some of the big nasty ones, the one on Chincope and the one on Old Lakeside, but not many more than that. Most of it was done with our own effort. We're perfectly capable to pack on of fending for ourselves. We do it. Sometimes I feel like we're an island, really, when it comes to getting support from JCP&L, the DEP, name them. But we still do it. And we're still strong. I hate to use that thing, but we are Hopatcong strong. We are. And even with all of our faults and disagreements and we get pissed off at each other or whatever, when the chips are down, this town and the people in this town, they do get together. They are strong. We'll talk about that later when we disagree on stuff. We'll fix all that. We will. But the main thing is our people care about each other to a fault. They do. When people's power come on, people would say, look, I got power. You can come over and use my shower. You cook my coffee here. You don't hear that in every other town. I didn't hear that in Parsippany. I didn't hear that in Bergen County. I heard that in the Hopatcong. So this trash that I hear about talking about our town in a negative view just doesn't work for me because I see it differently, because it is differently. I'm very proud of our people, all of them, even if I don't agree with them, because again, when the chips are down, we pull together, and we have. We're not perfect. We don't pretend to be perfect. We'll never be perfect, but I'm hoping and praying that we do learn from this experience, and we will debrief, and there'll be some tough conversations. They might not all be public, and they shouldn't be. When we sit down in a room and start banging each other's heads about what went wrong, what didn't get wrong, the time to do it is later, not during the crisis. So if you expect someone to get in a heated debate during a crisis, that's not how it works. That's not incident command work. That's not emergency work. We just pull together and get through the crisis. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have easy conversations next week or the week after. Some are going to be a little rough. And we don't take our dirty laundry out in public when we say, hey, look, you didn't call this or you didn't do that. That's how we improve. And we will improve. You might not appear, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in emergency. It's very stressful. But our emergency responders, they come to the fore on this. They do. Our police, our fire, our OEM, you just gotta pick up the phone. And there's CERT at the high school because we have showers for people. We don't have to ask permission for that, by the way. We just do that. And by the way, the firehouse, we didn't have a tank of dirty water. You came and you filled up drinkable water from the firehouse. So we didn't put that donkey or whatever the hell they call that tank that we get from the county out there. to flush your toilet. You came down and you filled up your container like you always do, but with pure drinkable water. So that's what happened at number 3 firehouse. And to me, that was the right thing to do. So, you know, we're going to improve. We will. Crescent Cove is looking good with the aeration. And for only running for 2 weeks, I'm amazed, quite frankly, at the positive results and how good it looks. We need to do better, of course. The aeration is a 2 to 3 to 4 year methodology. But Crescent Cove was so bad that in only 2 weeks it looks better. The aeration will affect the weed pattern, it affects a lot. It will affect the blue-green algae, but on a longer term. So what I proposed is a what they call a bioblast treatment, 2 treatments actually, for this season that will eliminate the blue-green algae. It's non-toxic. There are no chemicals that are treated. Basically, we treat the bad bacteria with good bacteria. And basically, the bioblast treatment, as I call it, it's a natural non-toxic treatment. It consumes and fertilizes the fertilizers in the water. So it actually will help with the phosphorus too, in a sense. And these things that the good bacteria affect are the things that feed the algae bloom. So if you follow that logic, it's a biological process. We actually starve the cyanobacteria, and we starve it by putting good bacteria in that eat the food that the bad bacteria eat. I'm oversimplifying so I understand it, but this is complicated stuff. But it works with the aeration, and it consists of beneficial bacteria and enzymes that we're going to grow them right out of the lake. So what you'll see, hopefully next week, if I can get the right funding in place. And by the way, this is not costing the taxpayer the back on a dime. And so we just put that to bed right now. And so you'll see, and we'll probably use Crescent Cove Beach Club. They've gave me permission to use their property. We'll put a couple of pretty good sized tanks there. And we pump water out of our lake into the tanks, treat it with the bacteria and enzymes, and then put it back into the lake. And this is how we combat the cyanobacteria. So the 2 treatments are a little over $21,000, call it $22,000. The Lake Commission is going to kick in $12,000. They approved that last night. The Lake Foundation has told me within 24 to 48 hours, they'll come up with the balance. I've already contacted Blue Lakes and told them to mobilize and be ready. And when I have the funds, they're going to come and do the treatment. And like I say, I hope it's done within the next week or 2, because along the shoreline of Hudson Cove, we're starting to get high readings. The middle is not bad, but again, it's the shoreline. And so the biotreatments will solve that problem. And the methodology I'm using has not been used in our lake, or probably not many lakes in the state of New Jersey. But this methodology is being introduced in Florida. It's been introduced in Texas, Pennsylvania. Lake Heritage, which was a swamp a year and a half ago, is now becoming pretty decent fishing hole. And that's about a 200-acre lake. Lake Carmi in Vermont has chosen to strictly use aeration, and that's a 1,200-acre lake up in Franklin, Vermont. But it's taken a year and a half for them to start turning the corner. And with the way our lake is, with the runoff and the warm water, we can't afford to gamble on that time. So that's why I'm going to be aggressive with the biological treatments. And so keep your eye on that. We differentiate ourselves with that. The Hopatcong is pushing these methodologies independently, because I believe that our lake deserves a little bit more attention than same old, same old. And so it's a little bit out of the box. If it doesn't work, I'll take full responsibility for it, because that's the right thing to do again. And I'm confident that it will work based on performance in other parts of the country. And we gotta see what's working right for other people. And I believe that this is the model that we can use that will show other parts of the lake on how to become more healthy. And so if anybody is wondering on my caring or passion about the lake, I just want you feel free to call me and we can talk about that. But Crescent Cove will be clean. It will be a model. And so far it's coming true. So that's enough about the lake. And if any, like I say, if any question at all, contact me. I'll spend a lot of time talking to you about it. The Hometown Heroes, I've heard nothing but praise on that. It is a wonderful program. I personally took a proclamation to a fellow's house that couldn't make it, and he was quite amazed. Him and his wife came out, and I went with Brad Hopatcong, and we did our social distancing, and I did wear a mask, actually. I was correct. And so I read him the proclamation, and he was quite touched by that. So it's a big deal. It's not political. Honest to God, it's not. And we did respond to that a little bit. We did advertise for donors, and it was done through the Lake Hopatcong Regional News. They have a lot of circulation, a lot of readers, and so it was advertised. If no one stepped forward, then the program is still going on. So if you want to donate towards it, have at it. But it is a great program. I'm very proud of it, and all of our veterans are very proud of it. So that's about all I got for tonight. Please be careful. We're moving through this pandemic nonsense. Please be careful. They're talking about the schools, and I worry to death about our children. They need to be educated, but they need to be safe. I just got another phone call about our playground. The playground is not open. Neither are the basketball courts. And because they're not supervised. And I believe if the schools have the right plan, in my opinion, they need to go very carefully, and the goal in mind is to protect our children. That's the goal. That's our mission. And so if they can do that, I'm fine with it. But take your foot off the brake slowly, as we're trying to do in town. As I'm watching the numbers, Hopatcong's been doing pretty good with the numbers, and that's a good thing. But let's just keep vigilant. I know the masks are a pain in the ass. They are. But and every now and then, I have to admit, every now and then I forget, and I say, "Oh man," and then I put my mask on. But it's such an inconvenience, but it's so important. It's so important. So that being said, please be careful. Thank you for coming, and I'll entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
We're adjourned.
Night,
Wait,
everyone.
I needed to ask a question before we end. Is that okay? Of John Urson, if that's all right.
You can talk to him offline. We're adjourned.
Very good.